The samurai of the Black Crane clan had weathered many challenges. They had come through unscathed, relatively. But still there were many challenges to come. And a great deal more to deal with than just lowly samurai bandits out there. Greater threats still loomed for the Black Crane samurai. Having recruited Coyote, the young ancient soldier, they were now up to a whopping 7 total samurai living in the village. They had increased from their normal 5, and it was good. Things were actually pretty pleasant around here. But that meant that they would have to expand, change out some of these wooden structures for much more stable steel structures. Now, steel doesn't seem like a very samurai. Well, no, steel is actually a very samurai kind of metal. That's what they make their swords out of and their weapons. But also they make their buildings out of it just so that they can avoid any issues with fires and other dangers out there. Plus, it was just cool, and it would allow them to reclaim a lot of the wood so that they could use it for more important things like art or keeping themselves warm, since we still had yet to discover electricity. They also built paths around the village. Just basically just general cleanup. And the little mechanoid droid was out there helping them, so they gave them a lot of assistance. But it was a good time. Things were going well. But nothing lasts forever. And then came more samurai from the shogunate. These samurai were well trained, or at least they thought they were well trained, and they had firearms, which was actually a step up from what they'd been facing before. Firearms was pretty dangerous, and more importantly, some of the samurai had left to go on a mission to try to find a mechanator, which was probably not the best timing, but this is Rimworld, and Rimworld does not always work on your schedule. So Tommy, Marshall, and Gray were out at the hopefully the Mechanator base, and they found what they thought was the crypto sleep casket for the Mechanator, but there was some issues that they would run into that would make it much more difficult, like an unstable fuse box that was about to explode, and if Gray wasn't careful, she was about to become very, very crispy. So she ran out of there before it exploded, but the corpse of the Mechanator was still in there, and now it was on fire, and this was a problem because if the corpse goes away, they lose their chance at the implant to give somebody else the Mechanator. Meanwhile, back at the village, the rest of the samurai gathered at the entrance, ready to do battle with the shogunate. Led by good old Thorfinn. They were ready to battle, but of course the shogunate were brutal. They were jerks. And they found one of our pets, Purple, outside the walls, and Purple did not have a good time. So to try to save the corpse of the Mechanator, we had to go around the side and try to basically just deconstruct the wall and hopefully get the heat down so that we can get in there. But there was nothing assured. Nothing assured at all. But they were at least able to get in there and hopefully try to save what they could. And in here, I probably should have just extracted it, because by the time we put out the fire, the corpse was gone. And along with it was the Mechanator, or Mechanator, Mechanator implant. So this whole mission was for naught, but they would at least explore the rest of the place and see if they could find anything, while their compatriots back home tried to defend against the shogunate, who were still taking their time preparing to attack from 2 different directions. But now, we're definitely on the move. And as you can see, there were quite a few of them. But thankfully our traps were catching some of them. This was a new type of threat because they had primitive firearms, but they still had firearms. They weren't as advanced as the ones that we had realized conjured from the ancients, but still, firearms were a game changer, which meant that there's a lot more ranged combat going on. But thankfully, as with all things, they just were not prepared for our traps. which was good because they threw themselves at it with abandon. And we were able to take down quite a few. And Coyote and Fukumi were getting very good shots with their new rifles. While the other samurai tried to bash down our defenses, we basically just took the time out to take these out, which was good. And then when they were done, we ambushed this final one and made him see the error of his ways. Thorfinn, dual-wielding both blades, takes him down with ease. It was a rather simple siege. But still, every danger is a possible danger. And with the threat subsiding, we went ahead and stripped the ones we could find and removed the threats to the village. Back at the Mechanator site, we investigated the rest of the building, but our prize was had eluded us. There really wasn't much else. I know that we checked the rest of the rooms, but there's nothing really here, sadly. Which is disappointing. Because I was really looking forward to getting a second Mechanator, but it was not to be. It was not to be. And really, right now, another thing is that having to control two groups sometimes can be a little hectic. I didn't want to leave the other two out for too long. We go ahead and check here, and I think there's like one little piece of junk. Yeah, there's a piece of junk in there, and it's pretty empty. So it was not the best, but that's okay. We had defended ourselves, got ourselves some captives, held out, and Resin Crow decided to chill out by smoking a nice some smoke grass. You know, good old healthy smoke grass. It was good for her. And that's when we got Nabs. Nabs is one of our newest people. And here we have Resin Crow in all her glory. And of course we have Thorfinn. Thorfinn looking sweet. Their outfits are a little different. I decided to kind of modernize them a little bit because they're getting more and more modern. We got Gray. We got Tommy. Tommy's looking pretty cool with all her psychic power. And of course we got here Marshall. Marshall, I like Marshall. Marshall's got a sweet haircut. Got good old Fukumi here. Good old Fukumi. And then here we have Nabs. Nabs is special. And Rhea. Rhea is another recruit that we just are about to pick up. Plus Coyote. Coyote, our child soldier, who's really good with the gun. She's only 14 or 15, but she knows how to shoot people. Which is, I don't know what that says about the morality of the Rimworld universe, but yeah. And we didn't train her. She was already trained. She came out of that sleep casket with her rifle. So that was like what she was doing before she went in. Like, I don't even want to know what was happening there. But we did lose one person. Well, not a person. We lost our cat. Good old Purple. So Thorfinn led us on a little funeral. Our wolves kind of hang out with us. But for the most part, it's a somber affair. Losing someone in the colony is always bad, even if it's a pet. That pet was very dear to us. And we gathered around to give him a proper send-off. And it was good. It was good. I think everyone was able to get some catharsis there. And now that we have a little shrine in the middle of the village, and everyone can come there and rest up. But more importantly, not that that's more important than death, but we also get to reform our religion, which is good. Because right now we just have light. And, I think if we're going to be samurai, we need to adhere to the code of Bushido, which in Rimworld terms, at least for this mod, means we're going to raid people. We're going to fight, and if you get downed, it's not good. Losing in battle is never a good thing, at least to humans. Like, if you lose a battle to, like, mechanoids or, I think, animals, that's not as bad. But other humans, no. That's terrible. So, with Coyote being another essential member of our security team and an up-and-coming warrior, samurai, we're going to try to convert her to our way of thinking. We hold a conversion ritual, which is actually pretty successful. It doesn't fully convert her, but it takes her from, I think she was at 60 to 28 or something. It's a pretty big jump. So we definitely did well there. And I like Coyote. Coyote is one tough cookie. Yeah, she's young, but she has proven herself to be a very good member of the colony. And we also built a small shrine area, shrine throne area for Tommy to meditate and focus her psychic abilities, because they're going to get more and more potent and we're going to need the use of them. So I gave her some time there, but while that was happening, we had a crash from the Imperials and they needed our help. And of course, whenever there's crash by Imperials, someone wants to come and take advantage of it. And so some local knights and soldiers try to come and do battle with us. But, they may have swords and axes and heavy armor. We had guns, which was nice. It means you didn't have to get too close. Although Gray does get a little beat up here. I do send Gray in probably a little bit too early, and I think she gets shot by someone. I think it might be friendly fire, because we're trying to help the Imperials here, because they're still our allies. I mean, not that we're planning to betray them. I'd like to keep them as allies as long as we can. But she does some damage in there, but I have her retreat. I don't want her to get taken down. Get out of there. Get out of there, Gray. Get out of there. And really, I think I bring in good old Nabs. Not Nabs. No, Nabs can't fight. Nabs is not a fighter. Nabs is not a baseliner, too. She's I think she's the one that, bonds psychically to people, which becomes a problem because I think she bonds to Rhea, and we end up sending Rhea off for, being for work. Not yet. I think Rhea is still here, maybe? Yeah, Rhea is still here. But we will, and I didn't realize it at the time that they were already bonded. It was very fast. But we got Tommy. And Marshall here doing some work, and I bring in good old Coyote. Coyote gets in here on it. She shoots a little bit. I'm sure she shot someone. I mean, she's pretty decent with that assault rifle. So we're going to move him in, but I was like, no reason to get that close. And this was actually a pretty big group, so we had to kind of fall back. The Empire was definitely getting overwhelmed. If we hadn't come to help, I think the Empire might have pulled it out, but it would have been even bloodier. But yeah, Tommy at this point is dual-wielding pistols, because that's how she does. Oh, there, yep, like I said, there comes in good old Coyote while we're doing battle here on this beach. This is because of, look at all the blood, man. This is a brutal battle. Thankfully, Marshall's mounted. Tommy is not, but I think this is when I finally went oh yeah, Tommy's got psychic powers. So we start actually using them to our advantage. And here we're trying to, I think she's going to use like an ability to basically freeze her mind. Yeah, it's not berserk, but yeah, there we go. Psychic shock, I think is what it's called. Boom. It's pretty powerful. It just takes them out right away. So that was sweet. The other guy did not stand a chance. I think at this time we already turned the tide. Plus, I think we had, he said Coyote is up there on the periphery shooting with her rifle. She's getting her shots in. And I think at this point we had routed the enemy, these enemy raiders who try to take advantage of the Empire. Gray's running back to get healed up because she was bleeding out, which was not good. Not good at all. And I think they were trying to run away with one of theirs, but we're not going to let them go. We can't no. As much as we could have maybe given them mercy, we are warriors. A warrior deserves a warrior's death. So we decide to grant him what he wanted, or grant her. I'm not sure, but give him a stun, and yeah, they're not gonna get out of there. Boom, boom, getting shot up, and yep, they're down. So it was a pretty bloody affair. It was pretty messed up. I think without us, there would have been a lot more casualties. We did rescue someone. I think it was Basil. We rescued Basil for the, I think I sent Marshall to go rescue Basil because she's already horseback. Yeah, rescue her. or him. I'm not sure if it's a woman or a man. Sometimes I don't really check, so I'm sure someone in the comments will tell me, no, that was a dude. I'm like, oh well. But we're not, as much as we follow the Warriors Code, we don't just, let our allies just die on the beach like that. So we bring them back to get them healed in our state-of-the-art, really terrible hospital. I really got to remake the beds. Like, we don't have electricity yet, so don't judge us. And this poor unfortunate, I was just gonna let them all die, but this unfortunate was like alive for like at least a day. Like I left him on the beach, and she's just laying on this beach dying, surrounded by corpses. And we don't even acknowledge her. We're just like, yeah, that's fine. We're just gonna take your stuff and take it back home. And just look at all the blood. This was a bloodbath. This was crazy. This was a crazy battle. We're hunting around them, and she's just alive. Like, she's tough. She just stays. I don't remember if we capture her or not, but I was kind of surprised that she just kind of kept hanging around. Like, I really expected her to be dead, but she was not about to give up. But that's about all I can say for this episode. Pretty simple. Some raids, had some battles, but overall, things are going well for Samurai. I can't say that trend will continue, but for right now, they're doing pretty well. Our Samurai are top of the world. They're awesome. They're ready to fight. They've got good weapons. They've got their psychic powers. All of that hubris is ready for a good fall. So stick around. Let's check out the next episode. All right, see ya.